Hello, St. Peter's. Welcome back for another library time on this beautiful, sunny Wednesday. I am coming live from my front porch. It's a very fancy setup today. And I have a sign on my door that says, "Thank you, helpers." We're going to talk about that a little bit when we get started with our book today. So I know that you're waiting to see Ralph. Hold on. He couldn't fit in my shot, so he's here. I've got my adventurer's hat on. Ralph has his adventurer hat on. He's kind of like Indiana Jones, if you know who that is. All right, he's going to sit here and listen to the story. He just can't be in our shot today. My studio is a little bit small. Okay, so today's hat day for our Spirit Week. I started with my adventure hat, but guess what? Today we're going to talk about jobs, different jobs people have. Sometimes we call them careers. We're going to talk about a career day at school. So I have a couple different hats that we can wear. It's my adventure hat. It's not really a hat for a job. Well, maybe Jungle Terry. We did see him. He kind of had a hat like that, didn't he, when he brought all his animals? Do you know who wears this kind of a hat? Now watch this. This is worn by a welder. Welders wear this because when they cover their heads, it protects their face and their eyes because they're using very hot fire to put metal together. So that's what a welder wears. But I'm going to take that off because I don't think you can hear me if I wear that. All right, I also have a hat. I think you'll all know who wears this kind of a hat. The Cleveland Indians, right? What are the Cleveland Indians? Baseball players. That's another job. But finally, because you know, I saw some of you sharing your hat day pictures online already. And if you hear the traffic's going by, that just is what it is. I want to be outside, so we're going to have to deal with traffic. It's very busy in this big city I live in. So I saw some of you sharing your hats. I saw that Wayne had his fancy hat on. And Tino had his cool baseball Toy Story hat on. And I saw Charlotte with her witch's hat. I don't have a witch's hat, Charlotte, but that was pretty cool. And then I saw Sawyer, who was really ready for the day we're having today with her beautiful sun hat. So I'm going to wear my sun hat. What do you think? It protects me from the sun. You can still see my face. I like it. Thank you, Sawyer. So let's get ready. Oh, maybe I can't wear this hat. I don't know if you'll be able to see me. We'll do that. Well, I tried. If I read a story like this, it'll be very distracting for you all. So let's go back to the baseball hat. Sawyer, keep your fancy hat on because I think it's awesome. I wear that in the sun when I'm reading outside. But it's kind of hard when I'm reading to you because I don't want it to keep falling in my face. All right. We'll go back to the baseball hat. We'll pretend I am a professional baseball player. I'm not, but okay. And let me get my book. Sorry, I keep going out of your shot today because I'm outside, so I have things all crazy on my porch. All right. So now we have a little introduction. Gather everybody around. You're probably already there now because you put up with my silly hat day. Let's get ready for library. Let's turn up our ears so we're ready to listen. Turn off our mouths so we don't make a sound. Put your hands quietly in your lap. Take a nice big deep breath. And we're ready for our story. So today's story is called Career Day. Remember I said that word career is another name for your job. The job that you do, that the grown-ups do, is called a career. This is about a career day at school. And we're going to see just what some of these people do. Our story is by Rockwell, and our pictures, or our illustrator, are by Lizzie Rockwell. Oh, they have the same last name. They're probably related. I should have read about that. Career Day. Here we go. When special visitors come to our school, they tell us about the work they do. Then we tell them about the work we do. Today it's my turn to introduce my visitor. What if I forget what I'm supposed to say? Sometimes that happens, not just to me, Mrs. Madoff says, but to everyone. Here he is, right on time. This is my dad, I say. He drives a big bulldozer. Look at that bulldozer. What kind of a hat does he wear? Do you know? That's right, a construction hat. That's a hard hat. It protects his head. He's helping build our new library. Good morning, Mr. Lopez, everyone says. Good morning, boys and girls, my dad says. So a construction worker, that's one type of career. Maybe some of you know a construction worker. I know I do. Oh, make sure, I think I skipped a page. I did. Here we go. Next, we meet Charlie's visitor. His mother is a judge who works in a courtroom and wears a long black robe. If there's too much noise, she pounds her gavel and says, "Order in the room, order in the court." Then everyone has to be quiet. When Kate introduces her visitor, she says, "My dad plays bass in an orchestra. At night, he practices all day and takes care of my baby brother while our mother goes to work at a bank." So he plays, this is a big instrument. You have to stand up to play it. It's called a bass. Maybe Mrs. Doris showed you what that looks like when you were in music class. I'm sorry, my pages are very hard to turn today. Here we go. Michiko's mother writes books for us to read. Cool. She draws pictures in them too. She is very good at drawing mice. You can see her drawing a mouse right there. That's a cool job to have. I bet some of you could start drawing and writing books while you're at home. Mrs. Madoff's visitor is her husband. He is a scientist called a paleontologist. He just got back from South America where he was digging for dinosaur bones. What do you think about that? Maybe Joshua would like to be a paleontologist, I think. He loves dinosaurs. And look at his hat. That kind of looks like the hat I had on at the beginning. A paleontologist could wear my adventurer's hat. The bones tell us about dinosaurs that lived long ago. Sarah's visitor is our crossing guard. She brings Sarah to school every day because she is also Sarah's grandmother. That's why Sarah is always the first one at school and the last one to go home in the afternoon. Some schools that walk to school every day have crossing guards. We don't really have those. That would be me or Miss D or Mrs. Brown when you were coming into school. But we do have bus drivers. Mason's mom is his bus driver. That's pretty cool. Evelyn's mother is a nurse at a hospital. She takes care of all the newborn babies in our town. She tells us those babies are very, very cute. But they sure do cry a lot when they're hungry. If you have any little brothers and sisters, you probably know about this. That's a pretty cool job to be a nurse. You get to help a lot of people. Jessica's mother takes care of animals. She's called, do you know what job this is? That's right, a veterinarian. The kind of doctor who makes sick animals better. Sometimes we call a veterinarian the vet for short. If you say, I'm taking my dog to the vet, that's just a short way to say veterinarian. That's a very important job to have too, to keep our pets healthy. Sam's visitor drives the sanitation truck that carries our garbage to the big town dump. Kate and Evelyn and I wave to him just as we always do whenever he comes down our street. Hey kids, remember to recycle, Sam's father says. That's a really important job, to make sure everything stays clean so we can be healthy, to take our garbage away. Evan's father wears a leather apron that holds the tools he uses all the time. He is a carpenter. He shows us how to hammer a nail. Ooh, that's really tricky to learn how to hammer a nail. Maybe you know a carpenter. I know I do. When it's time for Nicholas to introduce his visitor, he says, I bet you've all bought groceries at the friendly farm market. Guess what? My father is manager of the store. Wow, that's important. We need those grocery stores so we can have food to eat. Today, it's Mr. Cisco's turn to introduce his special visitor. He says, Good morning, everyone. I'd like you to meet Professor Alcorn. He's my teacher at college. Hey, I never knew grown-ups had teachers too. Did you know that? All of your teachers had teachers, so they could learn how to be your teacher. Whoa, that's a mind blower. But it's true. Grown-ups sure have interesting work to do, and so do we. I know you're all doing a lot of interesting work while you are at home, right? So a lot of these jobs that we read about in this book, all of the jobs we read about in this book are helping people. And I learned something when I was your age. Believe it or not, I was your age once. And I used to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And now you might watch it because it's still on reruns, or you might watch Daniel Tiger on PBS. And what he always said was, whenever you're worried or something is going wrong, always look for the helpers, because there's always helpers. And right now we're kind of in a weird spot, right? We can't go to school, we can't play with our friends, we have to stay at home and just be with our families, which is great, but we can't really do the things that we've always done before. We can't go play baseball right now. We could play in our backyard, but we can't go to see a baseball game. We can't be with our teams. So it's really important that we make sure we stay helpers too. Who do you know that's a helper? Can you tell me? Do you know a nurse? Oh, nurses are our heroes right now, right? They're taking care of all the sick people. The nurses, the doctors, all of the healthcare workers, those are heroes. Do you know a delivery driver? A person who drives a truck? Because you know what? They're our helpers too. They're bringing food to our grocery stores. The mailman is our helper. He brings us our mail. Who else is a helper? How about your teachers? They can't help you at school right now, but they can help you with your schoolwork. We are all online. We're all helping you. So we're all finding things to do. And you know what that means? What do we always say when we work together? Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. I have it on my shirt today in case you didn't notice. It's my favorite saying, because at times when things are going a little weird and things seem a little bit crazy, if you work together, it doesn't seem so bad, right? So I made this sign today. I made it. And do you know what I used? I don't even know if you can tell. I used a gift box. I just took two sides of a gift box and I taped the back of it. And then I used some markers, and in really big letters, I wrote, "Thank you, helpers." And I taped it to my front door, thinking maybe some of those people that still have to go to work because they're running the grocery stores and they're going to work at the hospitals and the doctor's offices, or they have to go take care of the animals. We still have veterinarians who have to work. They have to go deliver the mail. They have to drive their trucks so that we can all get the things that we need every day. As they drive by, I think you heard a lot of traffic goes by my house. They can see that I appreciate what they're doing. So I want to make sure, even though I can't go say to them, I can't shake their hands right now, I can't give them a hug, but I can say thank you. You can say thank you too. I did it another way too, in case you don't have a gift box. It doesn't have to be that. Guess what else? Well, today we finished our Raisin Bran. So I cut open the box, and I made one on the inside because it's pretty smooth on the inside. Now, there are some jaggedy edges at the top. If you don't want it to be jaggedy, you could take your scissors and cut that top off, right? Just cut it right off, and then you can hang the sign up too to thank the helpers. I was also thinking of something else that's really special you might be able to do. If you know a helper, I know we have students at St. Peter's that their parents are really important helpers. They're firefighters or police officers or medical workers, doctors, nurses, people who work at the grocery store, people who work at Walmart and Target, all of those stores that have the medicine and the food that we need. If you know a helper, maybe you could make your sign on just a piece of paper, even a small sign, and hold it up and have your mom take a picture. Your mom or dad can take a picture and you could send it to them. I bet you that would really make them feel really good right now. You also might say, well, I don't know any helpers. You do. You are a helper. You can be a helper. If you do things that you've never even done before around your house, maybe you'll learn how to empty the dishwasher. That's being a helper. Maybe if you stand outside when the mailman goes by and you just give him or her a little wave and say thank you. Don't go close, just stand in your front door and just wave when they go by. They'll know you're thanking them. You can be a helper. Maybe if you have younger brothers and sisters and your parents are trying to make dinner and they're kind of in their way and they don't want them to get hurt by the stove, maybe you could play with them. That's being a helper. There are so many ways that we can be helpers. There are so many ways that people are already helping. You see it even, this is amazing, on the news every night. They show helpers at the end. I've seen helpers passing out food to people who need food. I've seen doctors singing songs with a piano after their shift's over to help people feel better. I've seen my friends are doing things online like playing music or telling jokes or just sending a picture to make people feel better. That's all helping, and you can help too. I love when you show me what you do. So if you want to show me how you helped, that would be awesome. You could put a picture when you comment in this video. You can put a picture down there. You could send me a message on Messenger. I got a really amazing message from Tino. Thank you, Tino. That really made me smile when I got your video message. You could send me an email at my school email. It's jbillinghurst@stpetersschoollorraine.org. Or you could just send your thank you helper to your helpers. That's okay too, right? But I do love hearing from you. I love seeing all your hats in your Spirit Day. I can't wait to see what else you put up for the rest of the day. That's going to be all for me today. I hope you had a fun time. I hope you thank a helper. Look for those helpers. See if you can find any that maybe I didn't even mention, because there are a lot of helpers, right? We'll be back on Friday. I hope you tune in Friday because we're going to do something that's kind of magical. That's your little teaser till Friday. All right, everyone. You take care of each other. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I will see you soon. I love you all. Bye.